another edition of BTV, the show where we take questions from people who visit our website regarding medical malpractice and accident case issues in Maryland. I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm joined today in the studio with my lovely wife.
I'm Renee Boston.
And today we actually want to talk about something that is actually not law related. It actually has nothing to do with a medical malpractice or an accident issue. We got this question. It came through our email, and it deals with specifically how do we work together as a married couple, as a husband and wife, and how do we run a law firm together? And the person just wanting to know, how do we do it? So as a husband, and knowing what I know, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn this over to my wife, Renee, and let her go ahead and kick it off and get started.
Well, I'm actually a member of several organizations that are female-oriented, and I get that quite often. They ask me what I do for a living when they find out, and I tell them that I'm also married to my husband and he's my business partner. I started getting some raised eyebrows and some sideways glances like, there's no way you both can be married and work together. But I'll go a little further. Not only are we married and work together, we actually work together. There are instances where people who are married and may have the same businesses and they may go to work together, but they don't actually work together when they get there. But we actually work together. There are cases that we get, and we actually both put time and effort into each and every one of the cases that we get. So that's kind of a little preliminary of what we actually do. Now, how is it working with your spouse? That can get kind of tricky. Well, for me, I would assume Marcus would agree with me that I'm the more emotional one of the group. And by that means I'm the one that's kind of the panicky queen, and well, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, and I'm the woman of the relationship. Surprise, surprise. But it's not that it's hard, because we've known each other for, I guess, about a decade now, and we've been married for over 5 years. So it's easy to work together, but to me, work doesn't stop. For some people who shall remain nameless, work is typically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's never a time when Boston Law Group is not open and running. Right. Even though we're not in the office, right, we're still working.
Right. and that can be tricky, because there's a lot of people who they don't agree with that, and it doesn't work for them. But for us, I mean, we're focused on running our law firm together, and we're committed to our law firm, and just like we're committed to our marriage. And for a lot of people, what's kind of hard to understand is that they both take big commitments of time. Serious commitments to time. And a marriage is not like a typical boyfriend, girlfriend type of relationship where, okay, well, things today didn't go the way I want them, so I'm going to just pack on up and I'm going to go back home, or I'm going to go somewhere else. No, you have to actually try to work that thing out, and you have to keep going for the common good of the marriage. And I mean, for me specifically, it can...
Did you say specific?
Yeah, for me specifically.
Oh, okay.
Yes. What did you say?
I thought you said
something else. Okay. Well, but for me specifically, it can be challenging. And like Renee said, I mean, it really, our business, it creeps into a lot of what we do. And I think a lot of that is because we're determined to be successful at our law firm, and we're determined to take it to where we envision it to go in the future. And we are beginning to do that. It is beginning to get to that point. But I think that for a lot of people, it's just kind of, it's strange, and it's right. How do you do it? And again, it may not be for everyone. I mean, right. I think that's a fair.
You gotta be true to yourself, and you gotta be true to each other. And you know the person you're married to, and you know the person, you know your work ethics. That's number one. And if you're not on the same page work-wise, you may have problems. Not necessarily saying that you can't do it, but there may be some problems and you may have to reevaluate some stuff.
Right. And I mean, for us, it's really, you know, we really put a lot of time into our firm and our marriage too, because the marriage has to be, to me, I would say the marriage has to be very strong,
right,
to withstand the stress that running a business and being married.
I agree.
And I mean, there are days where we, you know, we wake up, you know, we're together pretty much 24 hours a day, you know, and sometimes this can be for 2-3 days at a time. You know, we're just, you know, we're pretty much
no
stuck.
outside interaction.
You know, there's no outside. I mean, we're stuck together. You know, and you know, some spouses, they're like, well, you know, I would want to kill the other one, or you know, can she go just for a couple of days, or can I get some breathing room? You know, so you know, but it's different for every. Would you say? I mean, it's different for every.
Not only that, but I think we've been in business now for just shy of 2 years. Mm-hmm. We've been married for 5.5, but just shy of 2 years. Boston Law Group has been in existence, and when we first got started, I was very nervous because I know him, I know myself, I know how we can get. We both have those, I guess, those alpha male type tendencies at times, and I can sometimes be like, well, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, but I found, and I don't know if you agree with me, but it's gotten easier over time, and I guess the longer we're in it, it's gotten easier for me.
I think so. I mean, I think because we're working at it together. And as time goes on, you know, you really begin to learn each other. You really begin to learn how to work together. And I think that's a big thing too. Right. A lot of times people just are not used to having to work with other people right. for long periods of time. And it can be a lot. I mean, if you're just used to doing things on your own and, you know, being that lone wolf and, you know, and doing it that way, it can be very stressful, and it can be a big change. It can be really a big change.
Right.
You know.
Okay. I think that answered their question.
I think it did too. Unless you have anything else to like to add.
Yes, I think we hit every nail on the head with that question.
Right. So, and this is for the person who asked this question. As you can see, we do check our emails. We do actually check that stuff. So when you put information into that contact us box, it actually does make its way to us, and we actually do read the comments, and we actually take the time to look over that stuff. If you have a question that you would like to send to us regarding a medical malpractice issue, regarding any type of accident or injury issue, or actually, I guess even a social issue.
If you got a question for us.
You know, and when we will do our best to try to answer it. If it's appropriate, we will go ahead and try to shoot a video on it. And if you do want to get in contact with us, you can always check our website at bostonlawllc.com. That's bostonlawllc.com. We've got a contact us page that's there. You can click the button. It's going to create a form. A form is going to drop down. Fill out the form and submit it, and it'll come to us. Or you can bypass that altogether, and you can just send us an email at info@bostonlawllc.com. Again, that's info@bostonlawllc.com. I'm Marcus Boston.
And I'm Renee Boston.
And we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.